Welcome to the Google Cloud Update for the week of June 1st, 2026. I am your host, and today we have an absolute jam-packed episode. Whether you are an AI researcher, a data architect, or a security engineer, Google Cloud has delivered some incredible features this week. We will be highlighting a massive convergence in hardware acceleration, some quantum-defying security protocols, and cost-saving analytics updates that are going to put smiles on the faces of your finance teams. First, we will dive into AI, accelerators, and intelligent agents, featuring the general availability of tensor processing units in Compute Engine, and a major security transition to Gemini-based protections. Then, we will slide over to data, databases, and analytics to explore BigQuery's game-changing fluid scaling, Looker's massive update rollout, and a migration path from data catalog to knowledge catalog. Finally, we will cover critical infrastructure, networking, and cloud operations, including post-quantum load balancing and private service connect upgrades. Grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get into the details. Segment 2, AI, accelerators, and intelligent agents. Let's start off with the heavy-duty compute. Google's custom-developed AI accelerator, the Tensor Processing Unit, or TPU, is now generally available directly in Compute Engine. This means you get a fully converged experience across all AI accelerators on Google Cloud. You can use the Standard Compute Engine Instance API and Managed Instance Group, or MIG API, to create and manage TPU VMs. Whether you want to configure custom operating systems, adjust boot disk sizes, or run small-scale experiments and ultra-large training runs, you now have full lifecycle control over your TPU slices. Compute Engine supports TPU 7X, V6E, and V5P versions. This is a massive win for JAX and PyTorch practitioners who want to manage their infrastructure directly without relying on legacy TPU APIs. Speaking of AI, the Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform, formerly known as Vertex AI, has several exciting updates this week. Let's look at the Gemini Enterprise app first. If you are in the European Union, Notebook LM Enterprise is now compliant with EU data residency and machine learning processing requirements. While features like source discovery and slide deck generation are still waiting on MLP compliance, the main source adding and chat interaction features are fully ready for strict enterprise standards. Additionally, administrators can now enable the Gemini 3 Pro image, also known as Nano Banana Pro, and the Gemini 3.1 Flash image, known as Nano Banana 2, for image generation within the Gemini Enterprise app. There is also a brand new feature in public preview called Canvas. Canvas is a dedicated interactive tool inside the Gemini Enterprise web app that lets you create and edit AI-generated documents and slides directly from your chats, then export them to Workspace, Microsoft Office, or PDF. Oh, and for you agent designer users, Google has automatically migrated agents in the US and global regions from Gemini 2.5 models to Gemini 3.5 Flash. Talk about a zero-effort performance boost. Looking at agent permissions, the Gemini Enterprise Agent Platform Service Agent role, technically known as roles/AI platform.service agent, has been granted several new permissions. These include BigQuery.tables.list, along with logging and observability link controls, allowing your AI agents to explore and document your environments more deeply. Meanwhile, Agent Assist is rolling out Custom Sections version 6.0 in general availability, powered by Gemini 3.5 Flash. This update comes with improved auto-evaluation rubrics to track the completeness of your automated conversation summaries. Over in document processing, Document AI's custom extractor is introducing document validation and correction in preview. You can now use the Common Expression Language, or CEL dialect, to write custom rules that validate and correct extracted data on the fly. And for developers building agentic workflows, the File Store Remote Model Context Protocol, or MCP server, is now generally available. This allows you to create and manage file store instances directly from LLMs, AI applications, and AI-enabled development platforms. It is incredibly cool to see storage management turning into a simple conversational prompt. Finally, to align with the branding of these models, Security Command Center is renaming its AI protection findings. Finding categories like Vertex_AI_model_detected will now appear as Gemini_model_detected, and Vertex_AI_model_not_protected_model_armor is now Gemini_model_not_protected_model_armor. It is a clear nod to the power of the Gemini brand. Also, the Sensitive Data Protection Service now supports inspecting and de-identifying conversational content, allowing you to easily include conversation data inside your content item request. Segment 3, Data, Databases, and Analytics. Next up, let's talk about data. If there is one feature this week that will make your finance team throw a party, it is BigQuery Fluid Scaling, which is now generally available. Standard auto-scaling usually charges you on a 1-minute minimum duration, but Fluid Scaling dynamically adjusts your slot capacity from second to second with true per-second billing. For highly variable, unpredictable workloads, this structural change can lead to immediate cost savings of up to 34%. But wait, there is more for BigQuery. Remote functions now support custom paths in the endpoint URL. This means you can reuse a single Cloud Run service for multiple BigQuery remote functions simply by specifying different path suffixes on the same endpoint. It is highly efficient and generally available today. Additionally, the Facebook Ads connector for the BigQuery data transfer service now supports 9 new reports, including Ad Insights MMM, ads, ad creatives, ad sets, campaigns, ad images, ad labels, businesses, and custom audiences. Just keep in mind that due to Google Ads retention policies, connectors for Google Ads, Search Ads 360, and Google Analytics 4 will no longer populate backfill data for dates older than 37 months. Also, BigQuery is officially starting to limit legacy SQL usage for new workloads, so make sure you are actively migrating your legacy SQL code to standard SQL. If you are a Looker user, Looker version 26.10 is beginning its deployment. This release includes a massive list of bug fixes and enhancements. For example, Google fixed a bug where saving and scheduling on an Explore failed to load the scheduling dialog. They also resolved issues where cross filters did not appear in the filter bar, dashboard scrolling locked up when filters were open, custom calendar fields through SQL errors, and remote Git dependencies with custom SSH ports failed to configure. Looker has also added support for period-over-period or POP measures on connections to Trino databases. Looker Studio users will also love to hear that conversational analytics now support multi-region BigQuery data agents. Let's look at database replication and storage. DataStream is offering a fantastic new incentive, a free tier for change data capture, or CDC data, processed from Google Cloud sources like AlloyDB and Spanner. You get your first 100 gigabytes of CDC data completely free per billing account every month. Meanwhile, AlloyDB now lets you configure a custom cooldown period to control exactly when your read pool instances autoscale. We also have a major transition in cloud cataloging. Data Catalog is officially deprecated and is scheduled to be discontinued. Users should begin transitioning workloads and content to Knowledge Catalog, which was formerly known as Dataplex Universal Catalog. This migration will unify your data governance and search under a single, robust platform. If you are coordinating your data pipelines, the managed service for Apache Airflow, formerly known as Cloud Composer, is rolling out a key networking feature for Gem 3. You can now access Cloud Run endpoints restricted to internal ingress traffic through your environment's network attachment. This is currently available through beta commands in the gcloud CLI and the Managed Service for Apache Airflow Beta API. Speaking of data pipelines, Cloud Data Fusion version 6.11.1.3 is generally available with critical CDAP bug fixes. It resolves pipeline preview errors, improves parallel pipeline logging contexts, and introduces a deploy strategy query parameter to skip redeployment of unchanged pipelines, speeding up your CI/CD runs. Finally, Spanner has received several IAM updates. The Spanner Database Reader, Database User, and Database Graph Intelligence User roles have all been granted new locations and operations permissions, such as dataplex.locations.get, to smooth out integration with the newly updated Knowledge Catalog. The BigQuery Migration Service Agent role/BigQuery Migration.Service Agent, and the Gemini Data Analytics Admin and Viewer roles have also officially reached general availability. Segment 4. Infrastructure, networking, security, and cloud operations. Now let's turn our attention to the backbone of Google Cloud: infrastructure, networking, and operations. We have a massive announcement from Cloud Load Balancing regarding security. Google is rolling out hybrid post-quantum key exchange support for application load balancers and external proxy network load balancers in general availability. Yes, this is to protect against harvest now, decrypt later attacks, where bad actors capture encrypted traffic today, hoping to decrypt it years from now with a quantum computer. The load balancer implements this quantum resistance using a hybrid method called X25519 MLKEM 768. It combines the finalized NIST post-quantum standard with classical encryption to keep your traffic completely safe without hurting performance. Google is rolling this out in phases. It is opt-in via SSL policies today, will become the default in October 2026, and will be mandatory by October 2027. We highly recommend enabling it now to start testing client compatibility. For managing those load balancers, a modernized component-centric console interface is now in preview. This view provides an expanded perspective of your infrastructure with a searchable resource inventory for forwarding rules and target proxies, an interactive topology map that visualizes traffic flow all the way to your backends, and integrated audit logging. Over in VPC networking, Composite Health for Private Service Connect is generally available. This lets service producers define specific health criteria for published services, enabling automatic cross-region failovers for consumers accessing services through PSC backends. FileStore has also jumped on the PSC bandwagon, allowing you to configure FileStore instances to use Private Service Connect with NFS version 3 or version 4.1 file system protocols over both IPv4 and IPv6. For ultra-critical workloads, Google Cloud Interconnect has also introduced a single-region critical production SLA, guaranteeing a 99.99% availability within a single region. In Cloud Monitoring and Trace, histogram widgets on custom dashboards are now generally available. These widgets let you visualize the frequency and distribution of your metric values over ranges, rather than just displaying static tables. In addition, Trace Explorer and application monitoring dashboards can now map out the call hierarchy of a trace using a directed acyclic graph, or DAG. For Trace version 2, you can also view the instrumentation scope or schema of a span under the Metadata and Links tab. While the default flow for creating observability buckets will now actively enforce organization resource location and customer-managed encryption key policies. Let's check in on Google Kubernetes Engine. GKE is rolling out version upgrades across the rapid, regular, stable, and extended channel. The rapid channel default has moved up to Kubernetes version 1.36, and regular and extended channels are moving up to version 1.35 defaults. Along with these upgrades, GKE is introducing per-node pool maintenance exclusions, giving you the ability to disable auto upgrades on specific node pools. The standard no upgrades maintenance exclusion can now be configured for up to 90 days. Furthermore, GKE Gateway now supports back-end authenticated TLS for gateway-originated connections to pods or inference pools. Just a quick heads up, workloads in version 1.35 or later using workload identity to connect to Google APIs might experience transient timeouts immediately after node startup. Check the release notes for a simple workaround if you hit this. Speaking of Kubernetes security, Managed Cloud Service Mesh is rolling out patch releases to its release channels, updating images and delivering critical fixes for high-severity CVEs, including 2026 Cape Verde Escudos 27143. For enterprise storage and compute, Google Cloud NetApp Volumes has introduced a Flex Unified service level with limited performance in the U.S. East 5 Columbus region. They have also added storage pool permissions for listing and updating backup configurations. For VMware Engine users, note that all 3-year postpaid V2 committed use discounts, or CUDs, purchased after May 31st, 2026, will terminate on October 15th, 2028, and 3-year prepaid CUDs are no longer available. To help manage these shifts, the new CUD analysis tool is now generally available, providing a unified dashboard to track both spend-based and resource-based commitments. Rounding out our security and developer updates, reCAPTCHA has released Mobile SDK version 18.9.1 for iOS and Android, fixing critical proto-symbol collisions and Gradle plugin package name collisions. For operating systems, Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 10.0 for SAP is now fully certified for SAP HANA and SAP NetWeaver on Google Cloud. And finally, Cloud Workstation's pre-configured base images have been upgraded to use container-optimized OS 129 LTS, featuring the anti-gravity CLI and a custom gem directory for JetBrains RubyMine. And that is a wrap for this week's Google Cloud Update. Whew, we covered a ton of ground today, from provisioning Google's custom TPUs directly in Compute Engine and securing our load balancers with post-quantum algorithms to slashing BigQuery bills with second-by-second fluid scaling. Google Cloud is delivering some incredible performance and cost-saving tools. Make sure to look at the official release notes for the technical migration paths on Data Catalog, and definitely consider opting into that post-quantum key exchange to future-proof your network security. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, and we will see you next week for another dose of Google Cloud news. Bye for now.